maybe Sonny, if you would each just start off and introduce your family and talk a little bit about your family, pretty high level, that would be helpful.
Well, I'm Sonny Beck, and my wife and I had 3 children, and the oldest one is Scott Beck here, and his oldest son is Corey Beck.
Hi, everybody. For those that don't know me, I don't think there is anybody. Chantel and I have been married 32 years, so we have 3 sons and a couple daughters.
And I'm Corey Beck, and I'm the oldest, Scott and Chantel's kids. I'm married to my wife, Erica, and we've got 2 daughters at home, Olivia and Blair.
We were going to spend just a few minutes this morning introducing some members from the Beck family and talking just a little bit about the Beck family and kind of who the Beck family is. So, Sonny, you've been around here for a little while. You're technically the 3rd generation.
Yes.
Yes. And also the patriarch that's kind of built this thing. You've seen a lot of change in 70 years.
Yes.
Did you ever think this family-owned seed business would be what it is today?
I didn't dream about how big it would be. I knew we'd be better every day. And that turned into kind of growing pretty fast. So I think that's what my goal was, to be 10% better every day. And that's what I challenge our employees to be. Don't worry about a big number or anything. Just do the things that you can do, or tell us how we can help you be 10% better every day.
And here we are.
Yeah.
Scott, we were talking earlier, so the first...
You guys want to sit down? They're free. I've already paid for the chairs, so you can sit on.
Scott, the very first regional location that we built out like this was Henderson, Kentucky. And you were a pretty big part of kind of designing it and building it out and making that come to life. And I think that was about 11 years ago, maybe 2014. Does that sound about right?
I think it's been longer than that. Yeah.
It was before that?
Yeah.
12.
Huh?
I was thinking 2012, but I don't know. Maybe.
Been a little longer than that? Okay. So here we are in Salina. It's the first Kansas opportunity to have a field show. Our building is open. How does it feel to go from the Henderson, Kentucky building and location to across 20 states and here in Salina today?
Well, that geographic expansion for many years, it was kind of a barrier, I think, in all of our minds, because we couldn't see how we could manage the business in the way that we wanted to, having seed, in the right warehouse to be able to serve customers. We thought that would be too much of a challenge, but as it turns out, we hire the right people, provide the facilities at the right locations, and it all kind of falls together.
When you think about our future growth, Corey mentioned it in the president's talk with you today, there's not a lot of geography that's left to continue to expand into. What does expansion look like over the next decade, 2 decades, 3 decades?
Well, we've been in the more focus on the Eastern Corn Belt for much of our career. The Central and Western Corn Belt has a lot of acres. And so as we're planting roots with facilities, with people, with dealers, there's just still lots of opportunity for growth within the 85 to 90% of the corn and bean acres where we currently are serving farmers.
I think also the fact that we've grown in every state last year. It's not like we just grew in a new area, but we've actually had growth in every state. And I think the year before it was only one state that was even. So I think that's where our growth will come from, is just that continued growth in every state that we're in.
Yes, sir. Corey, I don't want to take for granted the fact that you're up here, and we have 3 generations in the business. I know I've asked you this question a lot, but for folks that maybe haven't met you or don't know your story, why did you choose to come back to this family business and make a life and a career out of it?
I would say, so I've been full-time 7.5 years, and when I made that decision to come back, I wasn't deciding that this was going to be my career at that time. I was trying it out 7.5 years ago, and I think that was probably still, I was on a trial period for maybe 3 or 4 years before I really solidified that, hey, this is what I want to do. This is what my purpose is. And I think it came down to a belief in our broader mission at Beck's. I think it's the people that I had a chance to grow up around. We have a lot of employees that have been with us 20 years, 30 years that I grew up around. And so coming back into that environment and finding where I fit was a big piece. But I get a chance to be a part of a purpose and a mission that is much bigger than any one person or any single generation. We're part of something that has spanned multiple generations, not just family generations, but generations of customers and dealers. There's a lot of longevity here and overarching purpose that it's fun to be a part of. I think that clicked for me probably 3 years ago.
I heard recently we have an employee that changed your diaper when you were a baby. Probably a couple.
If she says so. I don't remember.
Yeah. So, Corey, you last fall you changed roles and you stepped into a commitment rewards role. It was a new position. It was added responsibility to what you were already doing. You are graduating on Saturday with part of your master's degree and finishing the rest of your master's degree this year. So you'll have your MS and your MBA this year. And on the stage here with your dad, you delivered a vision for Beck's for the next 20 years. And that feels like a lot in the last 12 months, or really kind of 9 months. So, what's next? I mean, are you ready for retirement, or you got a plan?
Well, anytime you throw something out there that you think is a vision for 20 years, you kind of have a responsibility to stick to it. So I think I have the next 20 years pretty well mapped out of what I'm going to do. Maybe it is a lot, but probably what I've learned the most over the last 2 years is just what's the most important thing for me to do today. I won't get everything done, but what do I need to get an A in today? What is it okay for me to get a B in today? And just allow that to be my priority, knowing that I won't get an A in everything, even though I want to as a competitor. I would love to get an A in everything I do. When you get involved in a lot, you just have to then pick and choose what you have to get an A in today.
I hear you say that, but I know you fairly well, and I think you're wildly succeeding in just about everything you're touching right now. And I know you're not doing it alone. You've got a wife at home that's super supportive of you, and I failed to mention you're also raising 2 little girls at this time too. So you guys make a good team, and together you're being very successful at everything you're touching. So
thank you.
Yep. So Scott, we've talked a lot about growth, and we've talked a lot about the future, and there's opportunity, and we're a driven organization. But as you continue to grow, the one question we get all the time is how will we stay the same with the same values and the same principles that we've built this business on as we continue to grow in geography and size and numbers?
For me, it's just recognizing what the foundation is, and that foundation of relationships, relationship with God, relationship with helping others, and just continuing to recognize each person as a person, not a number, and treating each person with that level of honor and respect.
That sounds so simple. As I was watching your president's talk this morning, there were multiple times where even I've seen this message before, but I even got choked up again as you shared the gospel message on the stage, as you talked about your boys and you shared the picture of, you were honest that you didn't know if they would come back in this family business. And we're talking to family farms who have dreams of multi-generational family businesses. And you and Chantel have been able to nurture your 5 children to where all 3 of your boys want to be back in this business. And I'm curious if you provided any secrets or tips or advice for other family operations on how to do that as successfully as you and Chantel have.
I think I realized early on that I had to be intentional about what I really wanted. And some of that was driven by paranoia. I don't want my kids to be this, So being intentional with investing time relationally. And, when they were growing up, we had what we called together time. They named it together time, but it was each day a week I had belonged to a different child. So they'd have an hour that day. We'd just do whatever they wanted to do. Sometimes it was whatever I was doing because whether I was working or at an event, they just go with me. And then the other thing was we did provide opportunity in the business. So we gave them opportunity in many different areas that they had interest, whether it was, working in production, in our IT department, in marketing, in the sign shop, Corey can tell you about his enjoyment of pulling weeds in the organic plot. I think all the kids had opportunity to do that. So for me, it was that exposure. And so that when the kids would go with me to different events that were more adult-oriented events, they got to interact with adults and understand what Dad does.
You guys have raised good kids, all 5 of them. So, Sonny, we talk a lot about helping farmers succeed, and it sounds like a really great marketing message, and it's a pinnacle of what we do. We talk about it a lot, but you have lived that. That's what this business has built upon. Before it was a slogan, before it was a catchy phrase. Can you just kind of open up a little bit about why you're so passionate about helping farmers really be successful?
Well, I think when I came back from school, from college, I realized and felt like that the universities would not have the funds to do practical research. They were going to be looking at test tubes and things to develop brand new things. But helping the farmer understand what practices he should use. In other words, we started doing population studies. We started doing single cross corn versus double cross. We started doing weed control things, and do we do tillage or not tillage? Those are the kinds of things that I felt like somebody needed to do to help the farmers, help them figure out how they could make more money, how they could feed their families, how they could do a better job. And so we started doing that right away, the first year, and it just kept building and building. We'd add 2 or 3 studies every year until you get up to about 1990, and that was when consolidation was really starting to hit. Of the 300 seed companies, we were asked to do a paper on what's the future of all 300 of you. And I said, well, 100 of us will be gone in 10 years. We will sold out. 100 will merge with somebody else. You'll have a job, but you won't be known by your own name. And that would take us to the year 2000. And after that, I'm not sure, probably more consolidation will happen. But nevertheless, how would we succeed? Well, we'll sell seed. That's not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough. We're going to help farmers succeed. And I said, so that you understand that even if it isn't selling seed, we're going to help farmers succeed, because it's never wrong to help others. But fortunately, we've been able to help farmers with our practical research, and we can also sell seed that funds what we want to do. And so that's been what's really been, I think, fun for me, is to see that in helping others farm better, we can still help them with knowing what seed to plant, to help them not only in practices, but in what products they would be planting on their farm.
So, Sonny, you have watched this business grow from a seed business that serviced the single county in the state of Indiana that Beck's exists in, which is Hamilton County, to where we are now spread across 20 plus states here. You are towards the end of your career. You're not there yet, but you're more towards the end of your career than the beginning. What is your hope and your desire for the future generation that will take the helm of this business when maybe you're not here?
Well, I think what I just described of helping others and helping farmers succeed is what I will consider success. And we can also do that through finding, accessing, and producing seed that helps them make more money. It helps them because we know more about some of these things, like the root reveal that you saw over here earlier. In other words, we're constantly studying what gives us yield. And that's just one of the things. And when we can help provide farmers with that information about what you should plant this hybrid on this soil, we never thought before, about that we needed to think about roots. And now we know that that's one of the things that is going to give us more yield. And we need to know how to use it, what kind of soils, whether we've got fertilizer, what kind of tillage we have. And so I think that's where the future is going to be, is to continue to look for ways that we can help farmers succeed. And that's what I would love to have happen. And hopefully, it's always, we believe it'll always be family owned. And it has to have a purpose, which we just described, how passionate we are about helping farmers find the right things.
Sonny, why is it so important that you maintain the family ownership?
If we maintain the family ownership, we can control and have the goal of helping farmers. We don't have shareholders that would be saying, we need to send us 10, 15%, or we're not going to fund you anymore. Fortunately, the family believes in the same thing of leaving our money in the farm, in the business, and that then allows us to help farmers succeed by having part of that, given part of that back to them. It's called commitment rewards. That you are our shareholders. You are the only shareholders we have. And so why shouldn't we share back?
Thank you. This last question is for all three of you. So, Scott, you and Corey both shared a lot on the stage this morning during your president's message of some really exciting things that are going on in the business. We've got an XL soybean lineup that's very promising. We've got artificial intelligence. We've got root reveal, silk reveal. There's also Olivia, Minnesota facility is coming online. This is Salina's first field show. We've purchased some really significant facilities. There's a lot of things that are happening right now and in the future. What are you most excited about in the next couple of years here at Beck's? All of you.
To me, the thing that's always continued to be exciting is, I remember years ago when I was the one that was planning and organizing the Farm Progress show that we would go to. And we would have more people, so it was every 3 years that we would participate. And we would have more people involved each year, and yet it still came together as a team doing the work. And so it's really exciting to see that, we're now over 1,000 employees and over 1,000 dealers. And if we can keep that level of let me say, accessibility to family and leadership, engagement with our employees and dealers, I mean, we can continue to grow. There's not a limit that we can continue to grow. And so that's exciting because we bring more people into the fold, more people, and I shared it in my video that one of the things that really drives me is that farmers are better off, not just for the seed they plant and the yield they get, but what they receive from relationship with Becks and whoever they're interacting with, that their lives become better, that they're actually motivated and energized to do better by their relationship with Becks.
Same question for me.
Same question for you and for Sonny. What are you? There's a lot of really exciting things happening, but what are you most excited about in the next couple of years?
I'm going to piggyback on some of what my dad said, but I just really believe that the opportunities out there are endless. I think what's clear though is we know what our purpose is. We know why we're doing what we're doing. And so no matter what what opportunity pops up 10 years from now, we know what's most important. And so having that stability and that conviction, that will allow all of us, this is the part that piggybacks on what he says, it's a team effort, but when we have clarity of vision and purpose, we know how we'll make decisions in the future. And so as people bring forward new ideas, new opportunities, I mean, Root Reveal as an example, that was just birthed a couple years ago, somebody kicking the tires and exploring a new possibility. So I don't know what new opportunity we're going to explore 7 years from now, but I do know how we'll think about it and why we will choose to explore it.
I just like new things. I've always liked to figure out whether they'll work for us and whether they'll work for farmers. And so I want to prove something that's new, whether it's good or bad. And as long as we can help farmers with looking at new things and figuring out what things might work for them and what things might not work for them. So I think that's what's exciting. I'm excited every day about all the new things that are coming down the pike.
You're not slowing down anytime soon. Yeah. Thank you guys for being up here and for sharing openly about your family a little bit and the future of the business. So appreciate it very much.